Welcome back to Proverbs 31 Live. Today we are looking at the last of our curriculum. So everything today is just going to be the Abeka third grade materials. So we're going to go over the student kit and the parent kit. These are, at this age, we're not breaking anything up. So we just do the full parent kit, or I do the essential parent kit and the student kit, and that's it. So, and again, you can find this stuff used. If you have like a McKay's bookstore near you, they often have material that is used that you can buy for much cheaper. There's an Abeka, what's it called? The Abeka used curriculum group on Facebook, Marketplace, eBay, things like that are good options because Abeka is pricey. And it seems like they go up just about every year. So there are options to this. So I am blessed with a friend that I've known since middle school who homeschools her children. Her oldest is 1 year ahead of my daughter. And then her youngest is a couple years behind. So she buys everything because her son's older. And then I get to use her parent kit. And then some of the reusable things, and then I just have to buy what Abeka calls consumables, so the workbooks that your student actually writes in, and then I give her back the kit and the readers and all that she bought, and she uses it for her other child. So we're getting 3 years out of a lot of these books, and it's saving us both lots of money. So if you have a friend, someone at church, do that. My oldest, we're starting our second year of high school. And with that, I just resell his curriculum. I don't have anyone to buy it or borrow it from. So I resell at probably 40 to 50% of Abeka's cost to help another homeschool family out, not to have to pay full price. So that's just kind of one of the things that we do. It works for us. So we're going to look at third grade. A few things with Abeka. There is a jump from second grade to third grade, just in the things that they're expected to do, the workload. This is a transition year, and for some kids it's hard. And with that, you might not be able to do one lesson a day as outlined. So we're going to get into that. This year, there seems to be a little less reading. So last year they started with an AM and a PM reading schedule. So on lessons that ended in 5 and 0, there were 2 reading assignments that day. On the other days, there was just 1, but it seemed like some days it was 15, 20 pages. So this year, all of the reader books are much thinner than what we had last year. And it's looking like 7 to 10 pages a day, is it? So when you are in those kindergarten, first and second grade years, they are hammering very hard on phonics, on structure, getting that basic foundation. And that's one of the reasons we love Abeka. It builds that solid foundation, and it builds it very well. And then it just continues to build on it. There's so much repetition that they're going to get it. And I like that. So it's a spiral curriculum, so it is a good balance of new concept and review. It's not 7 new concepts and then a day of review. It's literally new concept today. Tomorrow, we're going to review it and see it again along with another new concept. The next day, we're going to see the previous 2 concepts and have another new one. So it's a constant blend of going back and forth. So these are the readers. You can see each of them are pretty thin. So some of our books last year are pretty thick. They are numbered. So especially if you're buying these used, this right here, there's going to be a number first. It's going to tell you the grade and then a letter. So 3A, 3B, and this one goes all the way to K. These are the readers for that year. So if you find a set that maybe it's got 3, A, B, D, E, and F, well, you know one of them is missing, and then you know which one to look for. So you might not specifically have a title, but yes. So if you have even just one of these books, in the front, it's going to show you all of them. So it's all of them through 12th grade. So this looks at their reading program. There's the phonics instruction, handbook for reading, primary Bible reader, And then these are the readers that they're going to need for those years. So and it's just a bunch of short stories, but there are questions in here. They will learn things. I believe it starts in second grade, maybe first, but definitely second grade, of setting, plot, main characters, things like that. So definitely learning the fundamental parts to a story. So these are the readers. I'm just going to set this over here out of the way because there's a lot here. The reason that we buy and use the Abeka kit, and even if I didn't have my friend that has this, we would spend the money and buy the Essential Parent Kit, because the lesson plans for me are important. They are helpful. It lays everything out. And I personally prefer that, need that. I like the organization. I would rather look through it and go, okay, we're not going to do that today, or we're only going to do 1 through 10. We're not going to do 1 through 20, or we're only going to do, evens or odds, or whatever the case is, than not have this at all and try to figure it out. Okay. I'd rather them give it to me and I can go, yes, no, maybe, rather than trying to build it myself. So the spiral books are going to be yours. And this one is going to tell you that this is the curriculum lesson plans. So what's going to happen on all of these, when you open it, you're going to see the contents, the philosophy of Christian curriculum, why Christian homeschoolers benefit, all that stuff. Some tips on using Abeka, textbooks and materials. So this is going to tell you what's in the child kit, what some additional materials are, like the Bible, the arithmetic, all that. That's because it's outside of the language arts, because that's what we're looking at. You can get other add-ons, extra flashcards, all of that. So most of that is included in the complete parent kit. It is quite a bit difference in price. That's why I just buy the essential, because it can help, and some kids like it. My kids aren't flashcard kids, so I don't spend the money for that. It gives you a suggested daily schedule for third grade. Suggested start time is 8:15, and you're done at 1 o'clock. So they even acknowledge that, this isn't hours long. And there's a curriculum suggested schedule tests on a 3-day cycle. So they don't want you to have a bunch of tests in one day, is what they're doing. Gives you some subject overviews, how the writing works, what they expect with that, spelling and poetry, seat work, homework. For us, a lot of our seat work is just part of the school day, or we just skip it because there's a lot in the curriculum already. If I feel that they need some extra help, then we'll look at the seat work. Some of the seat work is written, especially in second grade, where like your math, it'll say page 1 is classwork, page 2 is seat work. Well, it's just the back of that math page, which has a lot of the review and things on it, or the independent working. And we just made that part of math. It wasn't separate. So that was just part of math. We did it. We finished it. We were done with math for the day. Rather than doing page 1 and then going back later in the afternoon and pulling it back out again to do page 2, I just put it together. Language, same thing. So that's up to you to do. So this goes through, it's going to give you the grading chart and tell you how to grade oral reading, how to grade the spelling test, how to grade poetry. So this one this year is broken up by subject first. So this has reading, and then you're going to have all 170 lessons of reading. And then you're going to get to language, and then you get to writing, and then you get to spelling and poetry, and then you get to seat work. So it starts with your daily plans. It tells you about how long you should be taking every day. You get a weekly overview, and then lesson 1 is just telling you the book you're reading from and the pages. So all the way down. Then you get to lesson number 5, and it says, give reading comprehension 3 skill sheet number 1 to your child. Have them write their name on their paper. And then you will do that. Then there's some Bible reading, and it gives you a question for discussion in there. And then you get to lesson 6. That's going to give you a weekly overview again for lessons 6 through 10. So it really breaks everything down. There's a place in here for notes if you wanted to write something down. There's an oral reading evaluation. It tells you when to do everything. So we are going to get back here to language. So that was the readers that we talked about. So language, you have the language text. Most days now in third grade, you just have like the front or the back. Like it's just one side. In second grade, it's both the front and the back. So it's getting not so heavy because there's a little more problems on each page some days. But it's not hammering all of those bases. We're applying them now, and it's just a normal lesson. So that helps with that. So we talked a little bit about the reading comprehension skill sheet. This is going to be the parent edition, which is going to have the exact same thing in it that your student sees as far as their stories. But like Abeka, everything in blue is going to be your answers, and then there's just extra things along the side to help you help your student with everything that's going on. So you're shaking the phone a lot. So, and this is going to be your students. So theirs looks just like yours, just not spiral bound. And then of course inside it's going to be blank with the short stories and not all of the tips. So language, this is their work text. That's a consumable because they're writing in it. And then this is going to be the parent edition. Again, spiral binding, looks just like theirs, but your answers are in blue. This helps a lot, so I can sit here and I can read it. Yeah, the whole page. So I can read it, maybe read a sentence out loud to her. Read a sentence out loud to her, or say, hey, have you done number 2 yet? And I can read instructions. Because I'm going back and forth between both children, or I'm folding laundry or cooking, lunch, something like that. I can see it and not be standing over top of her. What?
Go back in the book.
Yes. Yeah, because I did. Yeah, that one you write in it. So that's going to be the student kit for that. Language is going to have tests and quizzes. So the glossy gray are going to be your keys. And it's going to have the test quiz number is always at the top and the lesson number on the bottom. But again, these are clearly labeled in your book. And then here is the student copy to match. It's black and white also, but it is going to be the matte finish, or the matte finish. So with reading, we talked about reading for a second. This is going to be your answer key. There's answers and enrichment activities in here. So on the front, this is all of your readers, all the books that it's going to cover. You can use this if you want. I don't feel like this is absolutely necessary. We sometimes use this, or we use this for like the first week or 2, and then I'm just like, okay, we're done with that. So this is going to give you questions for everything that they're going to read. We read pages 1 through 7 today, and it talks about how to introduce the book, what to talk about, what maybe the poem themes are. There's questions. This one says, where's the boy in this poem? He was in his bedroom. These were questions that were in the text. So this is just giving you the answers. So, I read it with her. Like I sat and listened to her as she read everything out loud, so I knew what the answers were. Yeah. So maybe that's why I knew what it was, and I don't really need this so much. So sometimes I refer to it, I do pull it out, but I don't think this is absolutely necessary to have. But it's there. Some people like it, use it. This is part of the Essential Parent Kit. All right, so that's language. Next, we get into writing. So writing, Abeka teaches cursive writing. So this year it's called Writing with Purpose, and it's just 1 page per day. It's going to give you the cursive writing chart in the front. This is their page. Name on the top. It does start with it starts with some trace and write stuff for a while. They are getting smaller lines, getting them to work on that fine motor skills, perfecting their writing. Abeka is very sticky about their writing. If you are part of the accredited program, then you have to follow their grading style, which I feel is a very tough standard. It's not wrong. It's not bad. It's tough. And I was a public school kid, so it's very tough compared to what we had. However, that's in here. So part of writing this year is they've done that. They've gone to those little bit smaller lines, wanting them to perfect that, like I said. Mm-hmm. And in first and second grade, they have a writing tablet, which is just a book of blank writing notebook paper or notebook or tablet paper. And it is where they write their spelling lists, any extra practice stuff like their seat work. It's all in there. You don't have that this year. So again, they should have a lot of these foundations already. So you just have this book. So when they write their spelling words or need extra practice, they're actually doing that on notebook paper now. So we start with wide ruled, and then in middle school we go down to college ruled. That's just my preference, what I do. But that's what you have here. So you will get away from so much of the trace and write stuff. And then there's different assignments in here that you will need the lesson plan book for. So pages 91, 92, these are blank, and the assignment is going to be in this book. So this does creative writing. It's going to teach them a word web, making good sentences, paragraphs, all that stuff to begin writing reports, stories, short stories. So that's what a lot of the writing is this year, is creative writing. And then you get to the back and you have the test. So all of your writing tests are in this book, and the lesson that they are in is down here on the bottom. So even if you don't have your lesson plan guide, you can still see them down here. So all those are in here. You can tear these out if you want. We don't. And you just put the grade right on the top, and anything they need to work on goes in here. So that is your writing for 3rd grade. And then after that, we're going to go into spelling and poetry. There's spelling lists for every week. Spelling and poetry are in the same book. So those are here. And no. So last year, there was a quiz and test book, like a spelling book by itself. Or there was a phonics book. Finding my words. Language, phonics, that kind of thing. There was a quiz and test book for that, and your spelling words were in that, and then, or some of them were in that, and then you had in your writing tablet, is where they did their spelling tests as well. So again, now that's going to be on notebook paper, but their lists are in here, and it starts this year. I don't remember where last year started, but this year, day 1, you're writing the spelling. There was the younger grades, maybe 1st grade. It didn't start right away. It didn't used to. So that's different. So they're doing a lot more of just full school structure, starting everything right off the bat. So it's going to give you list 1, all your words, and then there's exercises to go with it. You don't do all these exercises in one day. It's just activities throughout the week to do this. So it's based on 5 days. Day 5 is your spelling test, and then the next day you will start a new list. You get so far into this, I don't remember how often they do it, and there are reviews. So like list 24 is a review of the last few lists. So they do, 16 is the same. So they go back and review those, keep those words in front of them so they're not just memorizing them one time for the test and moving on. Poetry is in the back of this book, and it's going to give you your table of contents. These are all the poems that they will memorize throughout the year, and there's actually a test, like a grade, on memorizing their poems. So it starts with the first one. They're always illustrated. Some are short, some are longer. So this one's a lot longer, to just get them seeing different authors, different poems. So those are in there. So that is the language arts curriculum. And then science, they have put science and health together because, so it's going to look like this, because science is the first half, health is the second half. So you're going to have science until Christmas and health after. And so all the lesson plans are in here, starting with lesson 1, exactly what you need to do. You are going to have answers to the text questions. So there's review questions, different things in there. And this is laid out very well. Pages 1 through 3, what the questions were, and the answers. Just to be able to see it at a glance.
Do I do this to the review exercise?
And have it. Okay. And then you've got quiz, test, and worksheet key. So all of those are going to be in the same book together. They do good at giving them worksheets to do, to apply it, to remember it, and to just be familiar with it, so they're not just reading it, moving on, or just seeing it one time and moving on, being quizzed over it. Okay, you broke it. So this is for the water cycle. And so this is what they're going to see, and they're going to get to label it. So it's just another way that they get to see it. They're going to have an animal notebook. This is optional. I believe it comes with the kit, but this is optional if you want to do it or not. It's just something fun for them to do. So when they're talking about birds, I think they have to like write a few facts about it or something. And then my bird report, I don't know all the details, like if they pick a bird or general or whatever. And then I know they draw pictures here, or even find pictures online and paste it in there. It's different things. There's quite a few sheets for that. And then reptiles, amphibians, and then there's facts of different animals back here for the reptiles, the mammals, amphibians, all that. So they can use that to refer to. And then this is going to be their textbook. So this is where all their reading is, their review questions. They do have vocabulary this year. And again, this is all from a biblical worldview. So you're going to have scripture in here, which is one thing that I like about it. And it defines science as studying God's world. Like it automatically says, you know, God made everything. But this is how we reconcile God, creation, faith, Bible, science, facts, all that together. That we don't use science to disprove God. Science proves God, God proves science. So it starts with, you know, things being done decently in order, using the scientific method, all of that. And so this is going to cover quite a bit with Abeka for everything. You guys have heard me say this before. It's going to be in bold or italics. Those are the important things to know, your keywords, your vocab definitions, all of that. So teach your student early to pay attention to the bold and italic words. This is their copy of quizzes, tests, and worksheets. So that is what your science looks like. We'll go on to health. Health is the same. You've got answers to text questions, your quiz, tests, and worksheet answers, the student quiz, tests, and worksheets, and their textbook on health, safety, and manners. And I believe third grade is the last year of health, safety, and manners. I could be wrong, but I think it's the last of that. And then it gets more into not so much manners and all that. History this year is all year long. Last year it wasn't. You had a few weeks of health, science, and manners, or health, safety, and manners, a few weeks of science, a few weeks of history, and that was it. This time, history is all year. Again, you're going to have all your lesson plans laid out. There's maps and charts for everything. This is the quiz and test key. Again, gray, glossy. This one is going to be their worksheets, or their quizzes and tests are in here. Answers to text questions. This year they have map skills. So last year they had a little bit of this, and it's just more. They are learning the states, where they are, labeling them, seeing the names, seeing the capitals, different parts of the country, continents and oceans again, Great Lakes, and this is all America. So it's all U.S. facts and stuff, and I'm dropping stuff. So these are all things that they're going to work on. They combine geography, world and U.S. geography, and there's just facts, answering questions based on pages in the book. So they begin geography pretty early. And then here is their American heritage. This is their workbook, starting back with what is history, why is it important, and important people in history. And then this is going to be your key to that geography workbook. And then math. So it looks like this is the last So again, you're going to have quizzes, tests, and speed drills. Just like before, this is nothing new. Speed drills are still timed. Speed drills start in lesson 7 this year. This is what they look like. Just laid out a little differently. More colors, no big deal. So they get 4 of these a week and then a test. So it should be 2 speed drills, a test, 2 speed drills. They do written grades and oral grades on the test. That's completely up to you. We don't always do the oral things. You can time them. So all of the speed drills have a time on them. 2 minutes, 3 minutes, you know, whatever, 1.5 minutes. It's all up at the top. So you'll just set a timer, tell them to begin, start your timer, do that. If that is something that stresses your child out and they don't do well with the timer, that was my oldest. It honestly just made things worse. So we quit. We still did the speed drills, but I didn't time him and stress about the time. Now my youngest loves the time. It is a challenge. She wants to beat the timer. But if she doesn't get all of them done, I have her, when the timer goes off, she has to stop, go back, circle the ones you missed, and go ahead and answer them. And then I write down how many she missed for time and how many she missed for accuracy. I know soon, and it might even be 3rd grade because we haven't started the speed drills yet. I don't know. But it's either 3rd or 4th grade, I believe, they start actually grading one of them, and it counts as like a quiz grade or something. So I don't know if that's this year or not. We'll see when we get there, but that's where we are. Again, you can get lots of charts and stuff for Abeka with the math. A lot of them, if you have, you know, 1st and 2nd grade, a lot of them are going to be the same for 3rd grade. Measurements, time, different things like that. So again, this is going to be your curriculum lesson plan. Everything is going to be laid out in here for you. This is going to be your student work text. And again, it's going to look just like yours. Everything is in here. They do get into some pretty deep stuff, starting with, they get into long division and equations by the end of the year. They get into very basic introduction to geometry, just different shapes, counting perimeter, knowing things like that. 2-digit divisors, so 60 divided by 30, things like that. Calculating area they will be doing. And adding and subtracting fractions. So that's kind of what you're looking for or looking to be into by the end of 3rd grade. And then this, again, spiral binding. This is your book that matches their textbook. All the problems are the same. Everything's up here is the same. Instructions, it's just got blue answers. And you can see what they're doing without standing over them, reading instructions and all that. So if you are looking at homeschooling, if you are just maybe not sure where to start, not sure if you can do it, you can, okay? If God is leading you to do this, you just have to trust him. You just have to do it. So this is our 10th year homeschooling, and 11, 12 years ago, I just said, no way, I can't do that. You're crazy. I'm not a teacher. I don't have the patience for that. All the things. And here we are. So just, if God is leading, just follow him, okay? And trust him. So that's it. So that is the Abeka 3rd grade material. If you have done 1st and 2nd grade, or you're in one of those grades, 3rd grade is a little different. Like I said, with the reading, the writing, the math, lots of things. But it's a good, to us, and structurally speaking in education, it is a good system. It does work. It doesn't work for everybody. And you don't have to use, you don't have to use the whole kit. If you just want to use their language arts, you can. If you just want to use Bible, you just want to use math, you can. I do have the Bible curriculum, but that will be a separate video because I forgot about it, and it is not part of the essential kit. So if you buy just the complete or essential 3rd grade student kit, 3rd grade parent kit, you are not going to get Bible in that. That is a separate kit. So just be aware of that if you are looking for that. So anyway, if you guys have any questions, of course, as always, drop them below. But until next time, stay in the Word, stay close to the shepherd, and let him lead you in paths of righteousness.